Does this baby boom generation have a chance, a prayer of making it in or through retirement? Our guest says yes. He is Dennis Gartman of the Gartman Letter. Do boomers really have a chance, or are we going to just be buried under higher taxes, falling stock prices, and watch our lifestyles be scrunched away?
No, I don't think any higher taxes are coming. That's absolutely a given. We have a left-wing government in power right now, so taxes are going up. But I think the thing that needs to be understood about boomers is that if you talk to any boomer, I'm 59 years old, and everybody in my cohort is saving money at a pace that they've never saved money before. And if you look at small banks, not the city banks, not the Bank of Americas, but go to the People's Bank and Trust of Keokuk, Iowa, if there is such a thing. Go to People's Bank and Trust of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, if there is such a thing, and ask them what their biggest problem is right now. And their biggest problem is they are absolutely awash in demand deposits, checking account deposits. And when people say, who is buying Treasury securities, the 2 and 3 and 5 year Treasuries that are yielding 1.5%, it's the small banks that are doing it because they're taking in so much money from boomers who don't want to put money in the stock market, but are saving money at an unparalleled pace. And the money is sitting in demand deposits. They buy Treasury securities. The bank's doing it because they don't have to put up reserve requirements for it. They're buying money at 0. They're lending it at 1 3/4. They don't have to make any loans, which explains why the lending is not as strong as it should be. But it's the boomer savings that are driving this, and this is going to go on for a long period of time. The boomers have been burned by the stock market, and as Mark Twain once said, "The cat who sits upon a hot stove shall not sit upon a hot stove again, nor upon a cold one either, because they all look hot to him." Is not putting her money in the stock market. It's simply going into savings.
Okay,
and
so
it's a real
interesting
phenomenon.
implications. If they're not spending, they're
Right.
maybe not going to buy that second house or third house.
They're probably
and we're
not.
talking about a special class of boomers. There are going to be plenty that'll be dead broke and have no savings
That's
because they have
correct.
no jobs.
That's correct.
But in that investing class are the ones that are having...
The college-educated boomer is in pretty good shape, actually.
But if the boomer's not spending on all that stuff or to furnish the second home and leaving the money in the bank, so there's no demand for loans, what's the implication for the economy?
A very slow and quiet economy here in the United States. We will not see GDP growth at 4% again for a long period of time. Will we see GDP growth at 1 and 2%? That's probably the best that we're going to get for the next several years. It will only be that way until Chinese consumers kick in another 5 years. And then we will be exporting stuff to China in paces unparalleled, unexpected.
You really think the whole cycle will reverse and that
absolutely.
we will be making stuff? What kind of stuff would China want that we would make in the U.S.?
Carpets, paint, automobiles, computers, you name it. They will not be able to produce enough to supply themselves. We will supply it to them. So will the Germans.
What a unique viewpoint.
It's exactly what's going to happen. This is how the world functions. That's how things change. Whoever thought the United States was going to be the motive driving consumer force that it became? Certainly not the British. Nobody expected us to do that. We did. Nobody expects the Chinese to do that. Why should you not? Why should you not? It would be illogical to think otherwise.
So if we're going to have that kind of economic rebound based on exports, a trade surplus that just inverts completely.
And it will.
All right. And then shouldn't you be investing in these companies now in the United States, or is it a little too soon?
Find out the things that the Chinese are going to want. I think people ask me, how do you invest in China? And I tell them, you don't go buy Chinese stocks. Go tell your child to learn Mandarin and buy the brass plumbing fixture distributorship in the 13th largest city in China. They will get wealthy beyond belief because in another 15 years, the Chinese are going to want brass plumbing fixtures. They're going to want the things that life in the West makes life so easy. That's what's going to happen, and to think otherwise is illogical, and it may in fact even be racist.
A unique perspective. The world turns upside down.
Completely.
We supply the Chinese and keep
the
our
Chinese.
economy going doing it.
Absolutely. It'll shock everybody, but that's the nature of history.
And how long will it take?
Years. This will go on. You and I will be long gone. Our children will be making money off of this in the next 25 and 50 years and 100 years. Why to think otherwise is illogical.
Thanks very much for being with us. I'm Terry Savage for the MoneyShow.com Video Network.